Happy Tuesday! Today we're going to talk about adjacent angles. First, we're going to start with a little review. Alright, so given a measure of an angle, complete this chart. You complete the chart, hit pause, and complete it, and then hit play when you're done, and I'll go through the answers at that point. So, pause. Okay, complementary means they add up to 90 degrees. Supplementary means they add up to 180 degrees. So, my very first one, 90 minus 72 is 18. So that's 18 degrees. And then I take 180 minus 72 for the supplementary angle. Complementary angle for the next one. Okay, well, complementary angles, they have to add up to 90. 150 is greater than 90, so there is no complementary angle to that one. Supplementary angle would be 180 minus 150, which is 30 degrees. My next one, 35 degrees. Complementary, 90 minus 35, I get 55 degrees. Supplementary, 180 minus 35, I get 145 degrees. And my last one, 90 minus 89 is 1 degree. My supplementary is 91 degree. So supplementary, they add together to make a straight line. Complementary, they add together to make 90-degree angles. So if I just added 90 degrees to each of my complementary angles, that got me my supplementary angle. All right, so let's learn something new. Adjacent angles, whoops, I don't know what that came from. Adjacent angles share a common vertex and share a side, but they have no common interior points and do not overlap. So we're looking at angles ABC and angle CBD. Those are supposed to be touching. I'm just a horrible drawer. They share a common vertex. The common vertex is point B. They share a common side. Their common side is BC, but they do not overlap. Angle ABC is adjacent to angle CBD because they have a common side, and that common side is line CB, which actually should be written like this. And they share a common vertex. That common vertex is point B. So which of the following are adjacent angles? Number 1 is adjacent, and that's it. Number 2 is not adjacent because they do not share a common side. Did you already figure that out? So this is one of my angles. This is another angle. They do not share a common side. They do share a common point, but you have to also share a common side. Number 3 is not adjacent. Why? Okay, I'm going to highlight each of the angles. Okay, so they do share a common side, but they do not share a common vertex. Do not share a common vertex. All right, let's look at ABC. I'm going to angle A and angle B. I have no idea where C came from. Here's angle A. Here's angle B. They do share a common side. This is their common side. They do share a common vertex, but they overlap. So it is not an adjacent angle because they overlap. Number 1's the only one that is adjacent. First page of your homework is identifying adjacent angles like this. All right. In diagram, ray QP, so that's this right here. It's perpendicular to QR. So because it says it's perpendicular, we know that makes a right angle, which means it adds up to what? Hopefully you just said 90 degrees. All right. They want to find us to find the measure of angle SQR. Angle SQR. So they want us to find that one. We know this angle is 41. They want us to find this angle. It is super helpful if you trace your angles that they're asking you about. So because they want to know about SQR, we traced it so we can understand it. Okay, let's see here. So I know these two, PQS, so I'm going to write PQS plus angle SQR are going to add up to 90 degrees. If I know one's 41, I need to find the other one. So 90 minus 41 is what is left over. And what's left over is 49 degrees. So angle SQR is equal to 49 degrees. Angle PQS and angle SQR are blank and blank angles. They're two different types of angles. They add up to 90 degrees, so we know they are, what is that word when they add up to 90 degrees? Complementary. And they're also what other kind of angles? So we've learned complementary angles, supplementary angles, and adjacent angles. So are they adjacent? They do share a common vertex, Q, and they also share a common side. They do not overlap, so yes, they are adjacent angles. So they're adjacent and complementary. Okay. Okay. They tell you that ABC is 90 degrees. This is A, B, C. So they tell you this angle is 90 degrees, so you know it's a right angle. If they do not tell it to you or draw that little box in the corner, you cannot assume. So that means I know that this big angle, ooh, that's ugly, is 90 degrees. Value of x. So that means 23 plus x has to equal 90 degrees. So 90 minus 23 is 67. So x equals 67 degrees. Angle measure of a straight line is 180 degrees. We already knew that, right? XOY, so they're talking about this one here, XOY and YOZ are adjacent angles on the straight line X. Ooh, XY isn't a straight line, that should be XZ. Yikes. Line XZ. So XOY plus YOZ equal 180 degrees. They're just telling you that. I don't see any problem in that. All right, how many different angle combinations can you come up with for 180 degrees? So that means it has to be a straight line. So let's see here. If I do this angle, angle POR, then I do this angle, that gets me a straight line. And angle, let's see here, ROQ. All right, I'm going to erase those colors and I'm going to come up with another combination. Let's see here, I already did POR, so now let's do POS. So angle POS, so that's this right here. What else do I need to add to it to get a straight line? So that would be this one right here, which is this angle here. So it'd be angle SOQ. Remember, there's different ways I can write those. This POS is the same as SOP, and SOQ is the same as QOS. So as long as the middle letter is your vertex, which it is. All right, so let's erase that and see if I can come up with another combination. Let's see here, POR and this angle here, angle ROS, and this angle here also make up a straight line 180 degrees. So there are 3 different angle combinations I could come up with. All right, you try and do this one on your own. Hit pause, hit play when you're done. Hopefully you've paused. All right, PR is a straight line, so that means I know this whole thing should add up to be 180 degrees. So X plus 125 should be 180. Subtract 125 for both sides. I'm left with X equals 55 degrees. So I'm going to check that real quick. 125 plus 55 is 180, and that's what I needed. Like I wrote this equation here, you got done. All right, you guys try this one on your own. Just try it. Hint, you should write an equation. You should write an equation here for this one. Hit pause and try it. Okay, I know all of those are going to add up to 180 degrees. I've got 126 plus this one, which is X, plus this one, which is 2X, and all of that adds up to be 180. So that is my equation. Now I'm going to solve my equation. Those are like terms, so I'm going to add them together. 126 plus 3X equals 180. Now I want my variable term by itself, so I'm going to subtract 126 from both sides. I'm left with 3X on the left-hand side because 126 minus 126 is 0. And on my right-hand side, I'm going to subtract this. 54. Now I need to get my X by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3. X equals, 3 goes into 5 one time with 2 left over. Bring down my 4, 3 goes into 24 8 times. So X is equal to 18. Because they're asking for the value of X, they're not asking for an actual angle, you don't need your degree symbol, but put your degree symbol on everything and you can't get it checked wrong. Similar to these that we... Alright, you guys try this one. It's just like the last one. Write an equation and then solve for the variable. Hit pause and do it yourself. Okay, so I know this straight line. Everything's going to add up to 180. So I'm going to put equals 180 here. Now I'm going to look at each one. This is 2y plus this here is 70. This last one is 3y. So 2y plus 70 plus 3y is equal to 180 degrees. So now I'm going to solve. These are on the same side of my equation and they are like terms, so I'm going to combine those first. So 5y plus 70 equals 180. I need to solve for y. This is my variable term. I want to get it by itself, so I'm going to subtract 70 from both sides first. 70 minus 70 is 0, so it leaves me with 5y on the left-hand side. 5y equals 110. I need to get y by itself now, so I'm going to divide both sides by 5. 5 goes into 11 2 times. 11 minus 10 is 1. Bring down my 0. 5 goes into 10 2 times. There is no remainder. So y is equal to 20 2. Once again, they're not asking me for an angle. They're asking me for the value of y, so I don't need a degree symbol, but if I put one on it, it's okay. Those are some. If you have any questions. All right, homework. You have 2 worksheets for your homework. One of them has adjacent angles at the top, and that's the one, like in the beginning, where you're identifying adjacent angles. So, is it adjacent? Yes or no? The second worksheet, it says determine the value of y. Only do the odd problems. Okay, and they look like what I've drawn down there, drawn here. So I'm going to look at this one first. The blue dotted one is each individual angle. So this angle refers to this number. This angle refers to this number. The red is the big one, and it will have an A on the outside of it. Or if we look at this one, the A is referring to the blue one because it's much closer to the blue. The 64 is referring to this blue one. The 98 actually is written on the red, so that refers to the big red one. And though, make sure you ask. You can write on private comment, or you can write comments to the class. In case you guys didn't notice, you are out of your first book. We're now in our second book. I didn't give you your second book, so if I ever give you book pages, somebody just needs to write a comment, hey, we don't have a book. So I am aware.